Happy Wednesday evening, everyone. I'm Carrie. This is Stu Lone Chit-Chat. I'd like to thank you for joining me this evening for a bedtime Chit-Chat story time. If you're new, I like to listen to Dave Ramsey debt telephone calls, see what we can learn from them, past and present. All right, so we're going to step back just about 2 weeks ago. And this ran on the Ramsey show. You lied to yourself about this. Now, I don't know what they're lying about, but we are going to find out. So we got our teacup, right, family? We have our teacup. So when we're ready to pour tea, once we think we get the gist of the story, we will pour that tea. All right, let me go ahead and set this up. So glad you're here. You lied to yourself about this. Let's hit it.
Brought to you by the EveryDollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So my husband and I just really don't want to be stuck in middle class the rest of our life.
Oh, well, okay. They don't want to be stuck in middle class for the rest of their life, where most of us sit. Most of the population, if I'm correct, is middle class. So what I want to know is what are they doing to make it so they're not, quote, stuck in the middle class?
We've been married 10 years now. We did your baby steps one. I think we made it to two maybe at the beginning, probably like 4 years ago. My husband lost his job during COVID, and we moved from Northwest Arkansas over to Oklahoma. And the current job he has now, he's making $65,000 a year. We live paycheck to paycheck. He has a brand new truck that is required by the job.
Breathe, everybody. I know what you're thinking, family. I know what you're thinking. All right. I don't speed up any of these calls anymore. I stopped doing that a long, long time ago because I found it too hard to keep up with the extra speed. Oklahoma. Isn't that where Dorothy was from? Isn't Dorothy from Oklahoma? Okay, one of those states, Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. I want to say it was Oklahoma. I can't remember. My age is no. She was from Kansas. I apologize. Oh, I'm not there yet with my mental faculties. Okay, but Oklahoma, and she's wondering. And then they moved to Arkansas. It was either Oklahoma to Arkansas or Arkansas to Oklahoma. But either way, all right. If they want to get out of the middle class, not that there aren't obviously very wealthy people there, especially if there's possibly oil and stuff out there. I don't know. I just don't associate the super rich living in Oklahoma and Arkansas and then losing their job. Also, which is unfortunate because that was during the pandemic. So we are going to be sensitive there. Okay. This is going to be interesting. Okay. So she doesn't like being a commoner with the rest of us, and she wants to get out of that commoner status. I don't know if Oklahoma and Arkansas are going to be the places to do it, but hey, miracles do happen.
Has to be 5 years or newer.
Wait. I just, hold on. Let me repeat.
And $65,000 a year. We live paycheck to paycheck. He has a brand new truck that is required by the job. It has to be 5 years or newer.
Then why isn't the job paying for the brand new truck? If a brand new vehicle, 5 years or newer, is required by the job, okay, the job says you must have it, well, then the job should provide it. Unless he's a, self-employed, and family, we won't even go there yet because we're not sure we're there yet. But you know what I think of self-employed? Me not like it. Me not want to deal with self-employed again, okay? But if he is self-employed and this truck is required 5 years or newer, which I've never heard of before, not saying it's not possible, okay? Then wouldn't that be a business deduction? Me thinks. Or is it really we just wanted a truck? Whew.
Really just trying to look for another job. He's been actively looking and applying. So my question is, how?
My question is, what does she do? That's my question. What does she do? And of course, family, you can always look at the description box to watch this without all the yammering in between.
How do we get him a good job to support, like, our family? We are currently in, we're fixing to have a fourth baby. We have outgrown our one vehicle that we do have. That's his truck.
I thought I talked fast. Okay. She's almost going too fast for me. Hold on.
Our family, we are currently in, we're fixing to have a fourth baby.
They are preparing to have a fourth baby. Good Lord. The woman talks faster than I do. And trust me, I can move. I can move when it comes to talking. They're having a fourth baby. And what was her question? How do we get the bejesus out of the middle class? I paraphrased a little bit of that, okay? It's called Wednesday night paraphrasing. I paraphrased just a little bit of that. We're starting to see the problem, perhaps. I think it's called win the lottery, but the problem is if you haven't learned how to manage money, you could win the lottery and you can lose that too.
Outgrown our one vehicle that we do have. That's his truck. We're gonna need a newer vehicle. We feel like
What? What's her name? Haley from Salisa, Oklahoma. Oh, Lord. So I thought she said they had to get a new truck for his job, and now she's saying they need another vehicle because baby number 4, the bun is in the oven. And I mean that, of course, in the most respectful way. She's trying to figure out why they're middle class. I'm going to be honest. Okay, and I'm no economist, okay? If they've got 4 kids and 2 adults on a $65,000 a year income, that's 6 people. I'm not even sure that's middle class. I mean, I could be wrong. Dollar-wise, I make the same amount of money and it's just me. And I barely consider myself middle class. Real honest, okay? Yeah. I grossed 70, 2023 with my little part-time baby's child care sitting job. And then 62 is a base because, all teacher incomes are public. So, and I don't consider, I live in this 840 square foot roundabout here. Okay. I don't consider myself middle class, although technically I guess I am. I mean, I live way beneath my income, but she's like, how do we get out of this middle class rut? But yet they produce baby 1, baby 2, baby 3, baby 4. They live in Oklahoma. And I think she said they moved from Arkansas. I think, okay. My apologies if I'm wrong. Yeah. Well, I hate to say it. If you were trying to figure out how to get out of the middle class, and then what does she do for a living? Maybe it's just a roll this week, but man, we have people going, improve my lifestyle. What was last night's video, family? What was last night's video? How was it? It's the couple that wants to have the husband go to school full time, and take a $60,000 cut in his income to basically live on her income, to go from $100,000 a year respectively to down to $40,000, and they kind of realize, oh gee, between child care at $2,000 and the mortgage, that's $3,000. We would have $300 a month to live on. So what's the wife going to do to really pump up the extra money? Never discussed. So here, Miss Haley from Salisa, I think it's Salisa. I apologize to the people in Oklahoma. I'm not really up on pronouncing your city name, so I do apologize for that. Salisa, Salazar. Oh my Lord. Okay. Oklahoma. I'll just say from Oklahoma. Okay. What is she going to do? A lot of people just looking at the guy, kind of like staring at the guy going, you figure it out. I'm thinking if they were really wanting to move out of the middle class, they probably should have thought about that before having 4 kids. Yeah, you can say pandemic was part of it, but people, let's get honest here. We can't blame everything on the pandemic. If you were a poor spender before the pandemic, you were a poor spender most likely after the pandemic. If you were unmotivated before the pandemic probably didn't help you get any more motivated. Sometimes I think that all the pandemic did was enhance people's real lifestyles. Is what it did. The people who had the ability to, buckle down those hatches and cut down that budget, I guarantee you, they were doing it before the pandemic. I can pretty much guarantee it to you. And that's why they continued to either flourish during the pandemic, or at least if they didn't flourish, they didn't completely, fall apart. All right. Sometimes I think that's all the pandemic did, was just enhance more of what people's natural spending habits and lifestyle desires are. I was tightwad before the pandemic. All the pandemic did was make me more of a tightwad and make me that much more goal motivated. That's all it did. It didn't change my behaviors or my habits or anything like that. And again, I want to put aside the people that, innocently, obviously lost their job through no fault of their own. But even through that type of loss, okay, and I say this with great sensitivity, even through that, it enhanced more of what type of person you are when it comes to money. How did you manage that job loss? Anyways.
It's this recurring mountain of living paycheck to paycheck and trying to set back.
Well, you're living paycheck to paycheck because you popped out kid 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a lot of kids in today's day and age. That's a lot of children. Just saying, on a $65,000 a year income, my income. Matter of fact, like I said, they made less than what I grossed last year. If I had to support 4 kids, and I don't know if she works, if I had to support 4 kids and a spouse on that, I would be flat broke. There ain't no talk about, well, how do we get out of the middle class? Basically, how do we get out of the, really low, almost poverty wages here at this point? If I had to support 5 people, oh hell, 5 people. It's a family of 6. I'd be broke.
Back money, and when he lost his job during COVID, we had money set back in savings and depleted all of that because he was just working odds and ends jobs trying to make ends meet. We both went to college, both have bachelor's degrees.
What's your degree?
I think she said they both went to college and they both have bachelor degrees.
Yeah.
It's just poultry science and ag business.
What? Hold up. What is that degree in?
What's your degree in?
It's just poultry science and ag business.
Okay.
Poultry? Like in pigs? Poultry? And ag business? Agriculture? Forgive me if I'm wrong.
Okay. And you have 4 littles at home.
Yes.
And that's your job.
3 littles. I'm pregnant with the 4th one.
No,
Yes,
3
that's
and
my
3
job.
plus 3.5. Okay. And that's your full time job. Okay. All right.
Okay. So she's all right, people. I think we got the tea on this. All right, folks. Grab your teacups. We got the gist of this story. So grab your teacups. Oh my goodness, what a tangled web. All right, people, grab your teacups. It is tea pouring time. You know the routine. Let's pour that tea. So refreshing. All right, people. So she's basically, God love her. It's like, the answer's so obvious. The answer is so obvious. If they were looking to get out of the lifestyle or whatever financial rut they were in, got to be honest, this should have been planned. Probably when they were first married. And I'll give the benefit and say 1 kid, maybe 2 kids ago, but you got 4. Yeah, 4 kids. And 4 kids in today's day and age. I was raised in a family with 4 kids. Mom, dad had a house on a hill, 2 cars, summer vacations, modest summer vacations. Don't get me wrong. We didn't go to, exotic places, but it was solid camping, all the camping you wanted to do. Okay. An occasional, airplane ticket to go see grandma, grandpa during the winter months. Okay, not real frequently, but a time or 2 on that. But it was always camping every summer school program you could think of that the YMCA had. All right. I mean, and that was with 4 kids and 2 teacher incomes that probably didn't make more than $25,000 a year each. But now due to inflation, okay, probably even less than that, to be really honest. Okay. 4 kids in today's day and age, being from Oklahoma, and you're not exactly in an area that, I think their degrees are in agriculture. This should have been discussed before you had 4 kids. That's just saying. Not that it's impossible, but what she's basically saying is, how can I stay at home and pop out kids? I was saying that sensitively. How can I stay at home, pop out kids, and have my husband get us out of the middle class? Right? That's it. That's basically what she's saying.
And his degree is in what?
Same thing.
And you've got how much debt? Not the truck is how much debt?
The truck is about $38,000 left.
Yeah. Okay. And what?
Jeez. Oh, it's just, you don't want to be the dream killer. You don't. And I've heard Dave Ramsey say that. And he said it, I think it was in last night's video. He said it too. Don't want to be the dream killer. I think that was him. Yeah, I think that was last night's video. Wow. 38,000. This is the truck that they had to have. Had to have. Me thinks it wasn't the truck they had to have. Me thinks it was the truck they wanted. And if they really had to have it because of work, then work should pay for the truck. And like I said, if this is self-employment, the truck is a write-off. Complete write-off, or at least most of it would be.
We have about, I think maybe $5,000 more of just one of my student loans that didn't know I was going to get. We got that last year. And then
how much is it?
It's $4,500.
And he has a 40.
Okay, well at least that $4,500 student loan. Okay, that's not bad, but we gotta look at the backdrop, family, of all the other debt.
$38,000 truck, and what else?
And then we have $1,000 on a credit card, and that's it.
Okay, all right.
That's it. That's a lot for and a baby cooking in the oven. That's a lot for somebody who says, "Help and get me the bejesus out of the middle class." Middle class is a pretty big range at this point. Okay, it used to be that if you made $100,000, all right, you were wealthy. Now, kids come out of college at 22 and think that that's what they're supposed to make. A little unrealistic there, but not impossible.
Right. You realize that you all lied to yourself about the truck, right?
Did I not say that? Did I not say that, family? I didn't use those words, but I said the truck. I really don't think it's what they're saying it is. Hold on, before I give myself snaps, let's hear.
Yeah.
Okay, because you can buy a 5-year-old truck a lot cheaper than he bought that.
All right, so I'm going to give myself snaps. Yay me. Yay me. Yeah, they told themselves that they needed a 5-year-old truck. They didn't actually need a 5-year-old truck. All right. Well, actually, they need a 5-year-old truck, but you sure as bejesus didn't have to go buy one at $38,000. Let's just round that off, folks, to 40, and then don't forget the interest.
That met the guideline for work.
Yeah, it has to be 5 years or newer. So.
Yeah. And do they pay him? Do they pay him in addition to the $65,000 for the truck?
Very little. He gets like so many cents per mile. It does not match up at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm not buying this truck story, folks. I'm just okay. I'll agree. I'm gonna stand behind Dave on this. Yeah. Okay. You need a 5-year-old. You need a truck not more than 5 years old. You're telling me you couldn't find a truck in the $20,000 range? You had to go up to 38. Probably the brand new one.
So his truck, it's only good for another 2 years before it falls out of the requirements. And so obviously he's looking for another job to get out of that and trade, like just sell his truck and be able to pay cash something for us a bigger.
Yeah, I mean you can make $55,000 a year and be way ahead of this. This is a bad deal.
Yeah.
It's a really, really bad deal.
Yeah, at this point they've been better off saying forget the job that has this stupid truck requirement, keep the truck we have, go look for a different job and save yourself $40,000, and that's not even counting interest. I've said it before, family. Sometimes people use a lot of times people who do not have control of their money, from my observation, okay, having heard a couple hundred of these calls now, all right, they use things as an excuse to buy more than what they need. Well, work said that I need to get a truck that's not more than 5 years old, so I'm going to get a really nice truck because I can say that that's work's fault. I know people who have literally said, okay, I kid you not, I have to get my mani and pedi every 2 weeks because I have to look nice for work. Work becomes the default for the luxuries, the goods and luxuries that we would really like to have. Well, that'd be like me going, well, I teach middle school and I absolutely have to have a monthly massage membership because, I just get stressed out and I have to be able to perform at my best. You see, work becomes the default. People use other excuses to really be an excuse to overspend, to get something more than what they actually need. because then it makes you feel like that responsibility is kind of removed from you. Instead of them taking responsibility and saying, you know what, we bought too much truck. We did not need to spend 38 grand on a truck for work. And perhaps mathematically, when we do the job, it may not even be worth it. But again, if he is using the job for, if he's using the truck for work, they really need to look at him being able, well, now he probably can't get a business write-off because he's a W-2 employee. Well, yeah, you can't overlap. You can't take, I don't believe, at least when I had my business, my little cake business, you can't be paid, you can't be compensated by an employer, compensating you something on a W-2 and then also get it as a tax write-off as self-employed. Yeah, you really can't do that. At least that's my understanding.
Yeah. So, how big a company is this that he works for?
Decently sized.
I mean, they got 1,000 employees, 100 employees. What?
I'm gonna say it's gonna. I'm gonna say it's. I'm just gonna throw out a fun number. Less than 200. Because this requirement of a work truck just seems really, it seems almost suspiciously taking advantage of employees. Could be wrong though, but that I'll throw my hat in the ring and say 200 or less.
Probably more than like a couple thousand. They're in 3, 4, 5, I think 4 different states.
Okay.
Holy cow! Why didn't there no snaps on that one? Boo!
They're one of the top producers. So
yeah, I think he needs to get a job.
Yeah,
that's part of the answer. And you guys can't lie to yourself next time and say that a $48,000 truck fits your world, because it doesn't fit your world. Just because.
Remember, folks, family. Remember the whole premise of this call was, how the bejesus do we get ourselves out of the middle class? Well, right now, honey, you don't. And long-term projection wise, you're not going to. Statistically wise, you're not going to. All right. Just statistically wise, you might over time, perhaps, make a little more income, but you got 4 kids, and a bun cooking. I mean, look at the next 20 years. Look at your age. Look at the needs of your children. I mean, this is where you accept that, hey, we chose, you tell your kids, we chose to have you instead of trying to get rich.
Yeah. Somebody told you that you had to do that to get a job, you just don't take that job. That's not a job. That was a no that you said yes to.
Yeah.
Because you're desperate and scared. You had littles to feed. I understand, but that was a no. You should have done.
I apologize, Mr. Ramsey. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I'm going to interrupt you anyways. See, and that's something that I've learned through my own experience too. Okay, the more in debt you are, the fewer opportunities you have to make decisions that really help you. It really is true. Someone said to me, money, it's true. Money doesn't make you happy. I guess that's what they say. I've not hit that point yet, family. I've not yet hit that point where, oh, gee, no, money did not make me happy. Okay, of course, money right now, of course, money makes me happy. I'm in that class of people that, yeah, we're working for every penny we got. All right. I mean, we understand money's not everything, but we are me, myself, and I, okay? I am of the socioeconomic class that I can't just sit there and go, oh, no, money doesn't build my happiness yet. Of course it does, okay? But I also understand that statistically there comes a certain point where it doesn't make you happy, so they say, all right? I'm just going to have to take the people's word on that, okay, based on research. But really what she needs to realize is, they chose that their happiness was going to be having children. Okay. They were not, from what I can tell, in a socioeconomic class before the kids came to really turn things around. I mean, it's not like she was born in Los Angeles, New York, Seattle. Not that you have to be from a big city, of course, to, prosper. But I think it probably helps. Excuse me, it introduces you to more people, more cultures, more lifestyles. You simply see more. Okay, again, not that it's an absolute requirement, because someone's going to write and go, well, I was born in Tennessee in the backwoods, and I became a billionaire. God love you, okay? But I'm just talking, from a statistical standpoint, okay? They chose that they were going to have kids. They chose that, they were going to set their roots down in, I think this is considered the Midwest. I hope it is, all right? But they chose to set their roots down, have 4 kids. They can't blame it all on COVID. As I said earlier, they really, really can't. They can't say this is all COVID's fault. No, this was on track long before COVID came. All right. And now this is their lifestyle choice.
So, you've been better off doing almost anything else. That was a trap. And so, yeah.
But that was also my point that I also wanted to make was what I've discovered is money, and I've heard this before, and it's true, quote, money gives you options. It does. When you are not so strapped to make ends meet, if a job comes along that's just absolutely wrong for you, that is taking advantage of you, you don't have to stay. You can afford to say, I'm going to hold off on that and I'm going to keep looking. But when you have, when you're so financially strapped that you can't, I hate to use John's word here, you can't breathe, all right? You have to take anything that comes along, even if the employer is abusive, whether it's financially abusive, verbally abusive, all right? Hopefully not physically, but I'm sure it exists.
Once he starts getting a sniff on a couple of other positions, I would tell him to go to his supervisor and say, I can't stay anymore and finance a truck for this multi-million-dollar company.
Yeah.
Yeah, that company is taking advantage of the employees. This is why Uber's, anybody notice the prices of Uber lately? Oh my Lord, the price of Uber? Whoo! I don't take Uber anymore. I used to, when it years ago, I get stuck and need a ride or whatnot, but Uber, Uber's as bad as a taxi, if not worse now. Thank heavens I don't have to take it, but wow.
This multi-million-dollar company wants me to buy them a truck, and I can't.
Yeah, just like Uber wants you to drive their car, wants you to drive your own car. What a great business model, though, if you really think about what Uber and Lyft are and other companies like that. Everybody's using their own vehicle. And it's supposed to be, well, you're being compensated by the per miles. No, you're not getting compensated for crap. You're not.
I can't afford it. I have 4 kids to feed, and you don't pay me enough to finance a truck for you. So screw this.
Yeah.
Really.
How do you set money back to do that?
All right, folks. I think we've got it for this evening's Wednesday night bedtime chit-chat story time. I'm Carrie. This is Student Loan Chit-Chat. I'd like to thank you for joining me for this midweek bedtime chit-chat story time. I hope you will consider subscribing. And I hope to see you tomorrow right here at the computer deck. At least, that's the plan. Good night, everyone. Bye.